My name is John F. Dilworth. I've got 2 empty pockets, 4 ideas, 1 body, 1 mind, 1 soul, 0 fears, and 0 years to waste. The deadline is approaching. I'm a numbers cruncher. By day, I'm a clock puncher, but by the time the sun touches the ground, I'm a superhero, a real live entrepreneur. I speak in visions and make my own decisions, but there is one choice that I cannot choose. I cannot choose to lose. Failure is not an option because I am the best. Who am I? What am I? I am success. I make motors move. I'm the king of the gasoline dream, and I have the skin that's the color of zeal. I'm slick as the banana peel, so I refuse to be stepped on. I am the bed of needles. I will not be slept on. A long time ago, they tried to stop me, but I kept on. And I am still moving. There are these green lights stuck in my head. That's why I keep it moving. Adversity is to me what nappy hair is to hot combs. Just another chance to do my thing. I'm the king of the gasoline dream. And I speak in sparks. I speak in visions and make my own decisions. But there is one choice that I cannot choose. I cannot choose to lose. Failure is not an option because I am the best. Who am I? What am I? I am success. Okay, my name is John Finch Dilworth II. And as you can see, I'm a little bit of a poet. I'm also a motivational speaker. I'm also an entrepreneur. From right here in Clayton County, I went to Lovejoy High School. And I graduated a long time ago. Not that long, but a long time ago. Born and raised Atlanta, Fulton County, Clayton County. So right now, this experience that you guys are having being students here at Forest Park High School is not too far removed from some of the experiences of my own. I wanted to take some time to come and just share a little bit with all of you because what I'm doing, standing right here, is I'm living in my purpose. I have a purpose to motivate people. That's what I was put on this earth to do. Now, the way that I do it varies. The way that I do it may have a lot to do with my writing, my speaking, or with the companies that I own. I use those. I like to promote positive things with my companies. But ultimately, I'm here to motivate people to do 4 things. Appreciate their blessings, learn from their mistakes, think optimistically, and use what you've been given to give to others. Those are the 4 things that I just live my life trying to inspire people to do. But those 4 things are a little bit different from the 4 things I want to share with you guys today. And my hopes are that some of these things that I share with you all, you'll keep them, you'll hold on to them, and maybe they'll kick in somewhere down the line and resonate and be useful for you down the road. So these 4 things, we'll get into them, but I'm going to need a little bit of your help because we're going to need to fill in the blanks. So to start, one of the things that I always wanted to do as a young poet, I wrote my first real poem when I was 16 years old. I was at Lovejoy High School, and this girl, she knew that I was always helping people with their essays and stuff, so she dared me to write a poem. And I wrote a poem for her. It was cheesy, you know. It was like your stars and the moon in the eyes and all that kind of stuff. But it worked. It worked. So when I started writing poems, I started really getting more and more interested in some of the other poets. One of them is the great Langston Hughes. When I read about Langston Hughes' life, when he was a young man, he worked overseas and he worked on the trains in Germany during, I believe it was World War II. And so because of that experience, I always felt like him being able to see those different things probably opened up his mind and made his poetry a little bit better, right? So one of the things that I think is important that I want to share with you guys is what do you think? Jump at the opportunity to, anybody have any ideas? Succeed. That's a good one. Huh? Achieve. Let's give it a little. Give you another letter. Travel. Jump at the opportunity to travel. Now, Langston Hughes traveled to Europe, worked on the train lines in Germany during a war. Wow. When I was 23, 22 years old, I literally was working right over here at a warehouse called McLean Food Service right off Old Dixie Highway. Now, I had gone before that from being at Lovejoy High School to Clayton State University to Lovejoy Jail. I had been in and out of jail, getting in all kinds of trouble, and my life really did not have a real trajectory. I didn't have a particular thing I was trying to accomplish. Everybody wants to succeed, right? But succeed at what? Everybody wants to be great, but how so, right? So before I had a real idea of what that looked like, I just wanted to write better poems. And I remember Langston Hughes traveling all over the world and thinking that some of that traveling must have helped his poetry to be better. And I was working over here at this warehouse. I was living at my mama's house as an adult. And there was this rumor going around. This was during the Iraq War, when the Iraqi war was in full battle mode, right? There was this rumor going around saying, you can go over to Iraq or Afghanistan, not be in the military, make lots of money. Oh, but the catch is they're dropping bombs every day. So I was like, man, I ain't never been nowhere. My family lived in Tennessee, my other side of the family in Arkansas, but that's all I had seen. Now, me as a young man, I wanted the adventure. I wanted to be able to have something interesting to write about. So I did it. I jumped at the opportunity to travel. My mom was crying, why would you go over in the war? You're not even in the army. I said, Mom, I got to do something different. I got to travel. I want to expand my mind. And that's exactly what happened. When I took that leap, I went from, I had only been on one flight my whole life. When I was a kid, my parents sent me to go and spend time with my grandparents for the summer. And that was the only flight I had ever been on. When I decided to go to Iraq, I went from Atlanta to Houston to Amsterdam to Dubai to Iraq. And immediately I had this passion for seeing the world. Seeing the world helped me to have a whole new perspective. And sometimes we can take perspective for granted. We can think about, okay, well, you know, I'm good how it is, because you can go online and you can watch a YouTube video of anything in the world, right? But it's not the same as being there. You don't get the same experience. It doesn't broaden your mind the same way. So I'm just dropping a little jewel of advice saying that you guys, when the opportunity to see something different, to experience something new, to go to a place that's far, far away, when that opportunity comes, you take it. You jump at the opportunity to travel, because that's going to help take you beyond new physical places. It'll also take you to places in your mind that you never even knew existed. It will remove your borders. I like living without the borders. That's just my style. But I believe that if you guys would remember that, because the chance will come. Now, I know that Forest Park is one of the most diverse schools in the state, probably the whole Southeast. People come from all over, right? You got folks from Laos and Vietnam and Liberia, Nigeria. People come from everywhere in Forest Park High School. But just because you come from somewhere doesn't mean you've seen much more beyond that. Okay? So even if America is a new place, still don't stop there. What about Ireland? What about Australia? If you have a desire to see these things, it'll work out for you to get there one day. And when that opportunity comes, don't hesitate to jump. One of the things that I learned in my travels, because I've been a lot of places throughout the world, one of the things I learned is that for me growing up in College Park, East Point, and Clayton County, I kind of used to think that we had it a little rough. I mean, I always knew that it wasn't as bad as it could be, because we jump on a train and we ride downtown like Vine City and the Bluff, or if you guys, I don't know how familiar you are with Atlanta, but for us, it wasn't living in the projects. It wasn't the Jecks. So I thought, okay, well, the Jecks is as worse as it gets. What I learned when I traveled is that so many people in so many parts of the world go through such greater levels of despair than we do here in America. What we consider to be poor here in America compared to some other places in the world, they would call it luxury. Something else I want you guys to remember on that note, we're going to fill in this blank this time. Little things. Little things. Appreciate the little things. It is so easy to let this way of thinking slip away from you. Because as you come across a challenge, it's very easy to stop and think to yourself, I don't have what I need to get to where I want to be. I don't have enough money for the retro J's everybody's standing in line for. I don't have enough money to jump on a train and go to a job interview that's up at Lenox Mall. I don't have the food that I want to eat that will fill my belly the way I want it to be filled. It's so easy to think about what we don't have. It's very easy to think about that. But when we think about what we don't have, it discourages us. Because we all want to have that word that I heard earlier, success, right? We all want success. We all want to be good. We want to be great. But in order to do that, you've got to push through challenges. Adversity is going to come. I'm pretty sure your parents, guardians, mom, dad, uncle, aunties, they say, oh, y'all got it easy. It's tough for us and we want y'all to be better than us. Or that's kind of the message that we should be hearing, right? But they'll tell you it's going to get difficult. It's just the way it is. For a lot of people, you guys, 11th grade, 12th grade, 10th grade? For a lot of people in the 10th grade, it's already difficult. Nobody knows what you have to deal with when you go home or when the bell rings and school is over. Nobody knows what you go through. For some, it's already difficult. But how do you get through that? You get through that by appreciating the little things. Because whenever you need something that you don't have, stop, take a moment, and itemize what you do have. When I heard about these kids over in Laos and Freetown in Africa, when I heard about some of the things they were going through, the Congo, I was like, man, I thought that we had it rough, but nah. I've got a friend right now who is from the Congo, and I don't know if you guys ever heard about the way that there was civil war, and the boys would be on foot trying to get to Sudan, where there was a safe haven, a safe camp to go to. But they would be on foot with boys, a group of boys, because their parents, their family would have been murdered, killed. They watched them being butchered. And he's telling me stories about how when they were on that trail, this is Africa, they're on that trail, these are young, malnourished boys, lions picking them off like they're animals. They had to look out for animals along the trail. I was like, what? I thought I had it rough. But when I appreciate the little things in my life, shelter, something to wear, freedom, when I appreciate that stuff, it gives me the motivation to keep pushing towards where I want to be. Right now, I own 4 companies. Those 4 companies are not where I want them to be. Getting them there is hard. There's so many challenges and difficulties to building a company, growing an organization, and I'm going to get there. But the way that I get there is when the challenges come, I'm going to think about what are the tools that I have to work with. I've got what I need. If you got to write a paper, you may not have when I was growing up, we had the big Encyclopedia Britannica set. You may not have that, but you got a phone, right? You can, even if you don't have a full-size computer at the house and you need to have a full screen to do your research, at the very least, if you got a phone, if you got to be up at night on your phone reading to write your paper, appreciate the fact that you have a phone that has a connection to the internet. Because in India, you got a whole group of millions of people who don't even have the mobile phones that connect to the internet. They still on flip phones over there. Imagine how bad that would be. So appreciate those little things, because that's what's going to motivate you. That's what's going to keep you pushing to get to where you want to be. You may want to do it for your family, do it for yourself, do it for a child, do it for the next generation. But you got to have some kind of way to keep yourself going. The way you keep yourself going is think about what it is you have. Because even if you feel like you don't have a goddamn thing, you got something to be appreciative for. And that little thing that you have, that will get you there. I used the example before of the young cat who just went to the NFL last year, who has one hand. Have any of you guys seen him? You know what I'm talking about? He got the dreads. Played for the Seahawks. He was born with some situation where once he got a certain age, they had to amputate his hand as a young boy. Now, what he could have done is he could have focused on the fact that I only have one hand. How am I going to make it? How am I going to fulfill my dreams of playing football with one hand? And he could have said, dang it, I'm done. I got one hand. I got to figure out something else to do, man. He could do what he did, which was appreciate the fact that I have one. Now let me take this one and let me do more with this one than other folks do it too. Dude is out there busting heads, making millions of dollars. He's got a brother. His brother also plays football as well. He out there out tackling his brother. His brother got 2 hands. So the point is, when you focus on what you have, as opposed to focusing on what you don't have, that will fuel you, that will motivate you, that will drive you to your own success. Now, in pursuing that, Here's the third thing. Lead by example. Great. Example. Lead by example. Right? Because the old saying is you got to practice what you preach. Migos say walk it like I talk it. Either way it goes, you got to back it up. It's not about you living in your own little silo and everything you do is for yourself. Do you guys know anybody that's very selfish? Some people, when they think, all they can think about is themselves. And sometimes it's people who are supposed to be responsible for someone else. You got some parents that are selfish. How does that happen? But this life we live is not about self. We're going to be okay if we think about others. Now, when we think about others, what do others see when they look at the way you carry yourself? Do they see respect? Do they see greatness? Do they see silliness? I was the class clown of class clowns. But being a class clown means what? Everybody looking at me. What do they see? If you go right now and you look at my Instagram page, you will see something on there that, have you heard the term influencer? Like when you go on Instagram, people are a public figure or influencer, social media influencer. What are you influencing people to do? I was listening to a young man speaking. He said, well, if I'm an influencer, what am I influencing people to do? If you look at my page, you're going to walk away motivated, empowered, not jealous or envious. You're not going to feel smaller. You're going to feel bigger. But somebody's always watching, especially in today's information age. Somebody's always watching. The things you post, the things you say. There's some ninth grader right now that's looking at one of y'all and saying, oh, he's from the same place I'm from. Or, oh, she wears her hair like I wear my hair. That ninth grader is looking at you and may never even come to you and say, hey, what's up? How you doing? But on the back end, low key, they watching you. What you do matters. You got a little brother, little sister? I got a little sister. She's 5 years behind me. She used to see me out in the front yard smoking weed, selling drugs. She used to see me through the glass in jail, come visit me, she crying. Somebody's always watching. And we have a responsibility to lead by example. Even if you're an introvert, you can be a person who's low key. You don't have to have all the attention on you. You don't have to lead an army. You don't have to be the president of the class. You may just like to do your thing. But when you're doing your thing, somebody watching. And what you do matters. Somebody is looking up to you right now. And you don't even know it. You may never know their name. But somebody is watching. And we have to lead by example. The way that I handle adversity, the way I handle the challenges in my life, that's me leading by example. I live my life as an example. Because I know that if I can make it through this and not hide it, then somebody is going to be able to make it through what they're going through. We live in this we live in social media age where everybody hides the hard stuff. Nobody, when they post that picture of the food at the restaurant, you're like, why are you posting a picture of your food? They post a picture of this beautiful plate or whatever the case may be. They're not posting the pictures of the ramen noodles that they eat when they go home. They're not being transparent. They're not posting a picture of their bill that's not paid. But I made a choice that I would be transparent, because if I'm leading by example, people are looking at what I'm going through for motivation, then I'm not going to fake in front. I'm going to keep it 100. I lost my dad. My dad died last year. I got divorced last year and had to give all my money away. Did I hide that? No. I put, I am hurting. I am going through a struggle. So then when I have victory, I say, I am victorious. And the person who saw me go through the struggle sees me embrace victory, and it motivates them. But if I would have hid my struggle and hid my pain, and I faked and fronted like it was victory the whole time, it would not be leading by example, and it would not have the same impact. So lead by example. Somebody's watching. The fourth one, also very important, also the longest. Self, situation, what? Touchdown. Purpose. Always be concerned with understanding your purpose. First of all, don't let nobody tell you that you don't have a purpose. Don't even tell yourself that, because each and every single one of you has a purpose. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why I'm here. I'm no different than you. I got a purpose. You got a purpose. You're put here for a reason. And nobody's reason for being here is any lower than or higher than the next person's. Everybody's purpose is purpose. That is, in my opinion, that's the highest form of living. When you're living in your purpose. When you're doing what you were born to do. That feeling is a wonderful feeling. But you have to always be looking for it, searching for it, understanding it more, walking into it, because it's something that requires your attention. You have to always be concerned with understanding it. Anybody in here know what their purpose is? Yes, sir. Mm. Absolutely. That is, so you already, here's the thing about purpose. The sooner you understand it, the bigger and greater advantage you have in succeeding in life. I understood my purpose at the age of 21. My purpose was motivation for the masses, motivate people. I didn't figure that out until I was 21. Some people don't figure out their purpose until they're 43. Some people get it when they're 18, 17. The sooner you get your purpose, the greater advantage you have. Boom. You got a head start. Because most people going to drift. They're going to drift. But once you understand that purpose, you don't drift. You have a trajectory. You have a goal. Now, Understanding your purpose means you have to understand it more and more because you never understand it 100%. So right now, you know that your purpose is to motivate people, to bring the positive vibes, the positive energy. But as time goes on, you will understand more and more about that purpose, and you may have something more specific that you do. The young lady who's the videographer right here, she's living in her purpose. She's capturing people, capturing life, and then sharing it with the world. The sooner you know your purpose, the better. And you have to always want to understand it better because it will grow and evolve. But my purpose was to motivate the masses. Now, these are the 4 things I want you to take away, right? Purpose really is the center of it all. Each of you has a purpose. Each of you has something beautiful and great that you're put here to do.